Welcome to another episode of Breakfast with Kevin. This morning we are going to talk about Amazon losing our stuff. We're going to talk about networking with people in your community, other resellers, and growing your business. We're going to talk about the results we've been seeing on eBay since we've made a couple simple changes. Right after this. Oh, hey, didn't see you come in there. Morning, guys. Welcome to another edition of Breakfast with Kevin. Over here cutting up some strawberries for my fruit-flavored water. And not eating at this moment. I will eat breakfast here in a moment. Need to get these prepped for today. And I want to talk to you a little bit about Amazon this morning. I know last week we talked quite a bit about eBay. But we also sell on Amazon. And an interesting thing happened over the weekend for us. So I had sold a couple items on Amazon probably about 2 weeks ago. And they hadn't been shipped out yet. I'm like, what is going on with these items? You know, I'm beginning to think, okay, they're going to fall off because of payment issues. You know, sometimes people buy stuff and they check out and they can't pay for it. So it stays pending for a little bit. But usually about after a week after they order, those fall off. And these orders were not falling off. And, you know, I didn't look too much into it. If I would have looked into it, I would have realized that they were being transferred from one facility to another, and that was the delay. But all of a sudden I had like 14 items go inactive. And I'm like, what is going on? I start digging a little deeper. And it looks like during the transfer, they lost the entire box of my stuff. So, 14 items just gone missing. Now, normally I wouldn't care because, you know, they do reimburse you after they're missing for like 30 days or 45 days. I don't remember which one it is. I got to look into it because I got to watch and see if they find them. Or if they stay missing, then I submit for reimbursement. But it's just crazy that, you know, Amazon, as big as they are, can just lose a whole box of stuff. But I'm more disappointed because several of those items had sold. And who knows how long it'll take for them to sell again if they find them. You know, hopefully it's just as quick. But it's like there was a sale on them, and now that looks bad on me not being able to fulfill the sale, because to the customer, they have no idea who screwed it up. Was it Amazon? Was it us? You know, and ultimately us as the resellers always get blamed. I love it when people leave us feedback saying, you know, the shipping was terrible or wasn't delivered on time. That's all out of my control. You know, and Amazon's usually pretty good about removing anything that they take ownership, or they'll make a comment on it and say that it's their problem. But it's just a little frustrating as a reseller to go through that. Update for you on eBay sales. So, you know, last week I told you guys to go out and do your RSS feed refresh. And I heard from a few of you who said you had very similar results to us. That I'm gonna eat that one. Within a day or so of doing it, you started seeing an increase in sales. I don't think we had a day last week that we didn't have any sales. And you know, things were starting to slow down. That, you know, we'd have a handful of sales each week on eBay, and last week we saw sales every day, and not just like one item a day, 4, 5, 6 items a day. So definitely liked seeing that. It got interesting and creative at a couple points, trying to manage all the shipping with working full time, having kids, the whole 9 yards. Just crazy, you know, life You got to work around it. You got to make some sacrifices from time to time. So now we're filling up pitcher 2. This one I take with me every day to work, and I fill it up probably 5 or 6 times. And then this guy sits in the refrigerator. So, and they both have the infusion tubes. And the nice thing is we got 2 of these and the pitcher all out of that pallets that we got from Upper Valley Wholesale. We were getting ready to buy a pitcher to have in our refrigerator that allowed us to do this, and we lucked out. There was one sitting in the pallet. The nice thing is having the little portable bottles. That's an added plus. You know, Kathy takes and puts a lemon in hers. She much prefers lemon, and I like strawberries. So some people have said watermelon. A couple people said kiwi. So there's all kinds of stuff we can try. And yes, I did wash these strawberries before using them. I took the whole container and oops, guess there was a little water left in the container. Washed them all out before I cut them up. Last thing I want is put dirt into my water. So, but you know, in the little water bottle ones, I probably get 5-6 fill-ups of that bottle in a day before I change out the strawberries. And at about that point, you know it's time to change them out, because the strawberries start swelling up from the water, and they look very waterlogged, and your water starts losing flavor. And that's the whole point of doing it, is just to give your water a little bit of flavor. So you can go out and buy those flavor packets that, you know, tout the fact that they're, you know, 0 calories, they don't have any sugar. Well, they got some nasty stuff in there for you. Stuff you ain't supposed to have. You know, if you flip around the ingredients list on an item, you can't pronounce half the stuff that's on there, you probably shouldn't be eating it. Yeah, I know that's the pot calling the kettle black, but you know, for me, that's primarily what my diet was. The key word is was. You know, having that little bit of a health scare, wake up, kind of changes that for you, and you start watching what you eat. Now, I won't say, you know, that I eat 100% healthy 100% of the time, because I did splurge a little this weekend and had some things I should have had, but I had them in moderation. I didn't have huge portions. So, and for me, you know, it gave that taste. Nope, wasn't any soda for those of you that were thinking that. So let's see, today's Monday. I think it's been 3 weeks. It's been 3 or 4 weeks now. I don't know, I'll have to look back, see what day it was I went in the hospital. Since I've had a soda. I don't even crave it. You know, Kathy, on the other hand, was craving one and had one yesterday with our meal. She had Diet Pepsi, and she asked beforehand. We were out at a restaurant, and she's like, do you mind if I get one? I really don't want to drink one in front of you if, you know, it's going to make you want to have one or anything else. I said, go ahead, it ain't going to bother me. Everybody else in the restaurant's drinking one. And it didn't bother me one bit. I didn't even think about it. There has been times, certain foods, certain meals that were a habit before for me to have a soda, and all of a sudden you feel like, oh, I should be having soda with this. Like, we had pizza and wings the other night, and that usually was a time that I would sit down and have pizza, wings, and a 2-liter Pepsi. I was able to have, and I would eat like almost a whole pizza myself, and you know, eat a good portion of wings, and it's I gotta clean that up. Wasn't the healthiest choice. So it sitting down, I ate a slice of pizza, a couple of wings, and right away I was like, oh, I should have a Pepsi with this, but you know, it's the new me. But reselling. So I sitting down this morning, and usually part of my morning routine when I get up is I flip through my phone, check emails, check messages, hop on Facebook, look at like 3 or 4 groups. You know, I'm a member in a bunch of groups on Facebook, but I'm not active in them. There's only like 2 on a regular basis in the reseller arena that I am active in, and then there's probably another 3 or 4 that I monitor and occasionally make a comment or share some advice. But for me, it's I try to wean a lot of that out because it's a time suck. You know, it absorbs a lot of time. And my focus right now is getting our stores built up on the various platforms so that we can just generate money and get out of working for somebody else. And a suggestion came up on a group this morning, and from time to time I go and look at the different groups, and there was one that popped up that caught my eye, and so I sent a request to join it. I actually sent a request to like 2 or 3 groups this morning to join, just so I can monitor them, see what the conversations are, what's going on. And the one I got about a half hour later a notification saying yes, I was accepted to the group. And then I got a message from the moderator, or the admin, the guy who runs it, and he says, welcome to group. Thought it was a nice touch, telling me that feel free to post anything I want in there, and if I have other people who I know who are interested in joining the group, send them over to it. And I responded back, said thank you, and that I'll take a look at the group, and if I like everything, then I'll be happy to share it. And he responded right back again, so he must have been sitting by his phone, and said, hey, by the way, we're both in Syracuse. I'm like, get out of here. Out of just a group that pops up in your feed as a suggestion, and I go and join it, and it's a resellers group, and the guy's right here. So interesting thing is, I told him, hey, we should get together, grab a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I'll have a chai tea or water depending on the time of the day or something, but or maybe grab lunch or something, and meet up and chat. I'm always interested in talking with other resellers. Found one in my own circle over the weekend, and that was another interesting story. I'll get to that in a minute. But so this guy is here locally, is a reseller running a group, so he's pretty active in reselling. And just out of the blue, we made that connection. But I always love hearing what other people are doing, how we can benefit and grow. And I love sharing the information of what we do to maybe help somebody else grow. But, over the weekend, I ran into a lady that I've known for a little bit, and had no idea that she was a reseller, and hitting up some of the same points we were. But a couple weeks ago, I ran into her at the regional flea market that I told you we have here at Syracuse. Didn't think twice of it. A lot of people go there. There are fruits and vegetables there. Saturday's their big farmers market, but on Sunday there's still a couple vendors selling fruits and vegetables, and people selling some like bulk foods, and then a lot of vendors just selling merchandise. But so it's not uncommon. Didn't think twice about her being there. And then this past Saturday, one of the local chain of thrift stores was running 50% off, and went to a couple of them. We took my mother-in-law, Kathy, and I went with her mom and hit up a couple of different thrift stores. And then we're out in one that's a little bit further from where we live, and I know this girl lives over on my side of town. And I leave the thrift store, and I wanted to run down to, there's that regional dollar store. If you follow my videos, you heard me talk about it before in some of my travels. I hit every one of their stores in the region to buy certain items out. I want to pop in there real quick, see what new they got in. Maybe there's some other items that we could sell, and there was a couple things in there. But made a quick lap with a list in my head of what I was going to buy. And because they're a cash-only store, I had to go get cash out of the ATM. And as I'm walking out the door, I'm holding the door for the lady coming out behind me. Now, she's wearing a baseball cap, and, she had her hands full of bags, and her head was down. And all of a sudden, I heard her say, thank you. And I'm like, I know that voice. So, I'm like, what are you doing here on this side of town? So I chatted with her for a few minutes. And she's like, well, we're about to go over to the thrift day. I was like, I was just in there. And we started chatting a little bit, and she's telling me how she resells some of the stuff. I'm like, get out of town, so do we. You know, so I'm going to do lunch with her at one point and pick her brain a little bit, find out a little bit more what she's doing, what items she goes after. You know, she told me one of the items that she was in that dollar store looking for. But it's interesting how you find these people in your circle and don't even know that they're doing it. So it's, you know, reaching out and finding out who's out there in your network that might be doing it, who's in your area. Try to make those connections. You know, it's a lot of people look at it as competition, but it is, but it isn't. You know, it's this whole community. I mean, if you look at it, you watching these videos, it's competition. You know, you being members of these Facebook groups, you're in competition with everybody else, because most of us can go buy all this stuff retail or online and sell it. So when people put out a BOLO or a be on the lookout notification, that you know, a lot of them are fear putting it out because they don't want to share it because they're afraid that everybody's gonna go jump on it and tank it. But at the same time, we grow as a community by helping each other. So, you know, sometimes there might be an item that I personally can't sell on Amazon because I'm restricted, but you might be open in it. So I'd be happy to share those things with you. So I don't at all look at that as competition. I look at more as, you know, networking and helping your business succeed. But, you know, that's about all I really got for you this morning. So once you hit that like button if you found this content valuable. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to get notifications when we put out new content, click that little bell right next to the subscribe button. Alrighty, hustlers, get out there and do.